Hello there everybody, how's it going? I am the average guy 1983. Thank you very much for joining me on this video today. Good morning to all of you guys. It is 11 a.m. and it is about 47 degrees Fahrenheit out here in Los Angeles, California, and it is pretty cold. I'm wearing just a regular white shirt. I'm actually wearing my Rider Fest shirt, and I'm going to be taking you guys on this little tour real quick on the Segway Max G2, just to show you guys what I've done so far with the beta testing of the Wolfbox G930. Again, this is a dash cam intended for car use and not for scooter use, but the reason why I chose this is because it runs on USB-C power, and you can see the little power bank right there, which I'll show you guys in just a little bit. But I wanted to show you guys my main problem, and it was this camera right here. For some reason, not this specific camera, because this is a higher end WDR camera, but the other original camera that came with this, I had it down here, and because of the vibration that happens so much out of this fender, the camera kept falling apart, like literally breaking into pieces. So I decided to try the WDR camera. The first one that I did had an issue with the camera rotation. It didn't want to work. No matter which way I rotate the camera, it would come out recorded upside down, and this was actually a replacement from Wolfbox themselves, and this one ended up working out the way it's supposed to. So this is exactly the way it's supposed to be installed. And it is straight. I did have to make this bracket out of ABS plastic because the original hardware kept making the camera go up to the sky. It kept folding even though I had the screws very tight. So I also had to upgrade the screws in the back to number 4 size screws instead of the M2s they were using. So this actually allowed this to stay put. This is not going anywhere, at least I hope it doesn't. Now, one thing about this dash cam that I did want to tell you guys is that this dash cam does not have image stab, and unfortunately it's going to shake a lot. I did put some like rubber padding right in the back. You can kind of see it there, that I put some rubber padding here to kind of help reduce some of that flexing that it does. But unfortunately, it's not all that great. But you can see the back here, how I have everything connected. This is the USB-C cable. This is providing 5 volts, 2 amps. This is the camera for the rear cable. And then this is the GPS that's located right here on the side of this little cell phone bag. Now, to power this, I'm using a DeWalt battery pack, and this one is 10 amps, and you can kind of see it in there. That's what it looks like. Matter of fact, let me take it out. See, this is all I'm using under USB A. It provides 10 amps of current, which will give me about a good maybe 4.5 to 5 hours of use on this camera. And the convenience of this versus the GoPro Hero 10 is that it doesn't die in 55 minutes and it doesn't overheat at an hour and 10 minutes. So, you know, this continuously keeps going. Like I mentioned before, when I did this custom bracket, I made it with the purpose of it being able to have these ventilated holes open, so when air blows through it, it keeps the camera nice and cool. So overall, this is how I have it. This is overkill, by the way, for the scooter, but again, I'm using my scooter as a beta tester, and we're going to be using the GoPro Hero 10 with the lens mod, so that this way we can try to get the best video that I can out of it, so you guys can see for yourselves how it looks. And then I'm using the mic adapter. Hopefully you guys can see that, because all I see is glare on my screen. And then there's a little dead cat right here that has a Rode Lavalier 2 microphone connected, and the standard settings on this is on standard mic. So we're going to go ahead and put on the helmet right now, and we'll take off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're now talking from the GoPro Hero 10 with the lens mod on. And again, I showed you guys earlier that I had the mic attachment, and on the top here with the dead cat, I have the Rode Lavalier 2 connected, and it's facing my cheekbone area. so that you guys can hear the audio as clean as possible. So right here, as you guys can kind of see, you can see that the display is on already. This is the front camera, this is the rear camera, and what we're trying to focus here on is mainly to have rear eyes. I need to make sure that, since I can't always see good from this side of the mirror or this side of the mirror here, I have to make sure that I'm able to see people behind me. Even if this thing shakes a lot, the important thing is just to have an extra pair of eyes. Now, I know that, again, you know, you can use a GoPro Hero 10, or you can use an Insta360 Go 3, or there's also another brand that I'll put up at the end of the video that you can also choose to use that has image save. But I think for what this is, at 120 bucks plus the that WDR camera right there, that's basically an extra $40. I think this was a good combination. I'm not exactly sure yet if I'm going to be installing this inside of my InMotion RS yet. I'm debating it so far, but yeah, let's go ahead and put this under the 2 settings here and go for a spin and see how everything looks. And you guys are going to see, man, this thing does not have image tape. So again, this is a beta testing thing that I'm doing with the scooter. And again, like you guys can see, this is like overbuilt and like over exaggeratedly like bulky, and like, you know, just, it's basically using everything. So let's get going. So the goal here is to try to make sure that the rear camera stays on, but like you can see, look, it's already shaking like crazy, man. But again, look, if I park behind a car, for example, let's say at a stop sign, right? Let's pretend we're at a stop and the car is about that close. You can see that right there. If you go here on the camera, you can see the license plate, and you can switch over to the rear mirror, and look, you can see the license plate there, very crystal clear. So the only bad thing about this is that having the camera rotated from this to be able to see the license plate there, what you see right here on the right side is actually on your left. So you can see your left hand moving here, and whatever's on your left side on this side is actually over here. So this is kind of something you're going to have to get used to if you choose to go this route. But let's go ahead and keep going and see how we do from here. And again, if there's nobody around, you can go ahead and below the stop sign. I've seen a lot of people do this now, and we'll see how this goes. I am in sport mode, so we'll see how this does, and you guys let me know how you guys hear the audio. So the purpose of this is just to try to get the best that you can license plate wise, and obviously with my white shirt you can't really see much, but I'll show you guys what the footage looks like during the day from the rear camera and the front camera, so you guys can get an idea of what that looks like. All right. And that's another thing, this thing here, I have to put my thumb right here where you see my finger at in order for this display to stay put, because even though I have this bike handlebar at its tightest setting, it's still moving. But here we go, and you can see the cars passing by, and I could definitely see them. We'll also do a nighttime view just to see how it looks like in the nighttime, because again, this is my first time testing out the camera, but right now it's still on, so that's a good thing, because my other two original cameras that came with the Wolfbox G930, like they literally like just fell apart within like not even 2 blocks away from my house. And Los Angeles roads here, they're not perfect. So what we want to do here is make sure that this camera remains intact when we go over the train tracks. And then I'm currently on Master Control version 1.5.1, and I'm a little disappointed with the firmware because it seems like the scooter got slowed down yet again, and the torque got slowed down even further. And I'm actually now 287 pounds, so I've gone down a bit more in weight. I know that I'm still a lot heavier for the scooter based on the 265 pound, you know, like maximum weight limit, but I mean, this wasn't doing this when I first got the scooter, and that's kind of a bad deal. So let me go ahead and lower this down, and look, if you can see, look, you can see the license plate pretty clearly right there, but you can't really see it in the mirror. So this is pretty cool, and that's exactly what I'm trying to accomplish on this scooter. And again, remember guys, always follow the rules of the road. Don't get caught by a cop, you know, disobeying the rules. Here we go, guys, here we go. Is it gonna stay? Yeah, it stayed. All right, this is cool. But yeah, I can't see jack crap. It's the problem is my shirt, the reflection of my shirt is causing some reflection issues. But hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I know that this microphone runs a little bit on the hot side, so I am going to try to edit the audio on the video to make it sound as nice as possible. Okay, here we go. Slow down a little bit, make the turn. Okay, we better stop here. All right, so if we turn right to the front camera, this is what it looks like, just so you can see what it looks like on here. It looks pretty clear overall. You can see the license plate there, and then you could also see it right here on the display. And then when you have both of them set up, this is how it looks like at its full-blown video quality. So again, look, see how there's a BMW behind me? If I go ahead and I put it there, you can see that the license plates say 8SZX551. So it's definitely visible during the day, and that's one of the things that I care about, other than the lack of image stabilization. But so far the dash cam is still intact, and that is fantastic. Okay, you're turning, you're not turning. Okay, so far so good. The camera's still on, so we're gonna take a look at it once I'm able to get out of here real quick. I don't want to slow down this car. Yeah, because this car is definitely turning here too. All right. So again, with the GoPro Hero 10, obviously you guys can see that the image stave is pretty good. But with the camera, you can see it shaking, and that's exactly the issue with cameras that lack image stability. But again, this is beta testing. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be installing this on my RS or not, because some of the concerns on the forum was people stealing the camera. And yeah, it is possible for someone to steal it or someone to obviously damage it, you know. But I have these little security torque screws here in the front that require a special tool that is not really sold in stores. You actually have to order them online. So unless you're a really smart bandit, you're probably not going to have those tools. So again, here we go. And yeah, this scooter significantly got slower, man. I don't know how I can lose even more weight and yet the scooter is slower in torque. It seems like every time Segway does an update on this thing, they make it slower and more unsafe to use on the bike lane. I don't know if I can recommend it anymore. I know I'm 287. Yeah, I'm, you know, still about, you know, 22 pounds heavier than what's recommended, but it's just 22 pounds now. So it's not like, you know, I'm back in the first video that I did of the heavy rider's point of view, where I was 312 and I got people calling me a freaking elephant and stuff. You know, I don't see that being a big deal. But yeah, okay, they closed up that street. That sucks, man. Okay, well, I think that we're doing pretty good with this. What I'm gonna do is gonna go ahead and show you guys what the footage looks like in the daytime, or we can probably park right here real quick so you guys can see how this looks. But I think overall it's good. Look, if we look at the camera stayed intact. Look, it didn't move. It's stuck on there, so that's a good sign. When I had it down here, it actually did a really bad job on that. And again, the camera cable is right here, and it seems like everything works so far, so it seems like this is a success, at least when it comes to the camera not falling apart. But I'll go ahead and show you guys this footage here in the actual editing software. But you can see, look, that everything is visible, so that's great. And you can't zoom in on this, unfortunately. Like, even if you try to zoom in, you can't, but you could go down and up depending on the way you have the camera set up. But again, look, I like it like this because it allows me to see both the front and the rear, and I think it's pretty cool. Again, whatever is on this side of the camera for the rear, whatever is on your right hand side here on the screen is actually right there on your left side, and whatever is on your left side is literally right here on your right side. And that's because in order for the camera to successfully see the license plate clear, the camera flipping has to be set like this instead of its original way. So this is pretty cool. In case you need to show it to the police, you can stop the recording. You can go up here to the play button and you can select the front or rear dash cam, and you can see, there you go, how that looks like. So far it doesn't look all that great with it wobbling all over the place, but I mean, when you think about it, the dash cam is also so low to the ground, and it's attached to what seems to be a 10.5 inch tire, and whatever support we get from this shocks. So that's what's working there, and that's how that looks. But I'll let you guys actually see the footage on camera or on video so you guys can see that. But this is how you get to see everything in case you need to show a police officer or anything. You know, you can show them what this is all about. So yeah, like I told you guys, look, there is no image stave on this thing, but at least, you know, it looks fairly decent for what it is. But if it had image stability, man, I think this would be a hit, especially considering that it only requires 5 volts 2 amps, and with this power bank I can get about 5 hours of record time with 0 overheating. But again, it does also record at 4K 24 frames instead of 4K 30, so that can mean why this thing is so jittery. But there are other options there, like I mentioned here, the GoPro Hero 10 that you see me recording on. That's one thing to like take into account, that you can use this Hero 10. By the way, it's on sale at Best Buy for like under 300 bucks. I think it's like $260 what I paid for the other one, but I did return it because I kept the original. I decided to buy the Insta360 Ace Pro with the little remote that has the little screen on it for preview. So I'm going to be using that on the InMotion RS and for recording videos like this. But this is cool if you need to show the police thing. This is a great way of being able to show them something. So when we're on, like on the reverse camera here, and we're moving, we can literally show, you know, footage here, like, hey, this car hit me and here's the license plate, blah 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 blah, and you can show that to the police. And I think this is a convenient stuff. On top of that, you also get the information from the GPS telling you how fast you were going, whether you were going north, west, east, south, and it also has the time, which right now it's now 11:49 a.m. So yeah, man, and it's actually not December 1st. Let me go ahead and fix that time. But yeah, let's go ahead and switch on over to nighttime view so you guys can see what that looks like. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're here at the nighttime, so we can see what the dash cam looks like. Here's what it looks like at night. And when I press on the brake handle, you do see it getting a little bit brighter. But this is how it looks like. I had mentioned earlier that you can switch the way the camera looks so that you can see what's behind you, what's in front of you, and both at the same time, which is pretty convenient. And again, I'm using the DeWalt power pack for that, with the GPS here on the side, and right here is the same camera as usual. So I got the GoPro Hero 10 ready with the Lens Max mod there, and right here is my brake free LED light that turns on bright whenever I stop. Momentarily turns on, then it turns back off. But this is cool. Turn it back on. Lets me know that I have about 100% charge. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the GoPro and see what we get with this nighttime footage. Alrighty, so here we are with the GoPro. Like you can see, there is a little bit of light there. It's not as bright, so if I turn on my Acrono light on setting number 1, you get that, and that's way better. You can definitely see the brightness. All right, let's see how this does at night, and I'll show you guys whatever footage I'm able to get for the nighttime. Okay, nobody's passing by. Let's keep going. And I do have the Segway 9bot Max G2 fully charged at 100%. Here we go. Man, it's cold. I should have put on the jacket. Oops. I hope I don't catch a cold because I literally just recovered from one. It took me a week to get over my cold. Hopefully you guys can see the license plate there. It says 8XTX050, and that's with a piece of plastic on it. And here's another one here. There we go. So I'll try to get you guys some footage here of a car passing by with the license plate. Maybe this one here, or this one. Yeah, let's try this one. Now I can indeed adjust this light, so let me just go ahead and adjust it a tiny bit higher. It's a little too low to the ground. Let me just adjust it a little bit up. Right around there is good enough. Here we go. Now, as you guys can see, there is some vibration issues here, but not as bad. But like I said, you know, this dash cam doesn't have 100% image stable like something like a GoPro does, man. And again, if you're wondering what my settings are on the GoPro, the ISO is set to 200 to 1600. And if I really want to, I can switch to the rear cam just like that, and you can kind of see the license plate on that car that's shining right there a little bit. It's not as bright. Well, you can see glare from literally the dash cam, but trust me, it looks way better than the original one. The original one was like crap. So I highly recommend this WDR camera from Wolfbox if you want to do the same thing for your scooter. And it doesn't have to be the Segway. I might connect it to the InMotion RS. Not 100% sure yet. But so far, it stayed on. I also have to keep remembering to make sure and adjust the footage. There you go. That kind of looks like crap though. Oh boy. See if I could change it back. There we go. This is why I have it like that, so it doesn't look as bad. Well, there you go, guys. So again, there's no image stable on this dash cam, but the convenience of this dash cam is literally the fact that it doesn't overheat, and it can literally last the life of the entire battery bank. And that's really fun. Oh, that guy was turning too without using a turn signal, huh? Interesting. See how this guy is going over here, turning this way? Well, I'm turning this way, but let me get out of that other guy's way. Be respectful, because this scooter is a lot slower than a regular car. That won't be the case for the RS though. All right. Now on the mirrors I can definitely see the cars, but this right here, man, is still pretty decent for what it is. And again, if there's some kind of accident that you get involved in, you have this as footage to show to the police in case anything goes wrong. And that right there was actually branches hitting me. But this looks pretty good, man. So you can see some of the brake and the lighting. If I lower down the light a little, just a tiny bit, you can see the license plate. and the cars that keep wanting to speed up. Here we go. Brake here, make your turn, and go. And there we go. So we'll go ahead and go where we went to earlier, even though the lights have been fixed. That's why they made the closure earlier this morning. Here we go. We can park ourselves right here in front of this car. All right, so there you go, guys. So this is what it looks like. And again, you know, it does its best for anti-flickering. You can kind of see some flickering there. If we switch over to the rear camera, this is what the plates look like. So, you know, not bad for what it is. For example, like I mentioned earlier, let me put up this screen a little bit further up like this so you guys can see me. If I scoot myself back like this, you can see that whenever I lift up my right hand, it shows the left, and when I lift up my left hand, it shows it on the right. So if you're going to do something crazy like this on a scooter, you're going to have to remember that whatever is on the right side of your screen is what's on your left side, on your shoulder, where the main traffic is at. And whatever is on your left side of the screen, it's what's on your right side of the shoulder. So other than that, I think it came out pretty good. We can like literally slow that down. Look, this is what the front looks like. So you can see that it looks pretty freaking cool. If I stop the recording and I go to the videos, you can see the last thing I did here. That was the front. And again, there is no image state, but for what it is, I think it's $120. You can't be, you know, too judgmental on something like that for being $120 and retrofitting it into a car. But I will talk to you guys about the other little options I found out that you can also purchase online. If we switch over to the rear dash cam, we can go to setting number 2. This is the rear, where I made the turn. Actually right here. And you can see the information that says Wolfbox here, G930, the date, the time, and the mileage you're going. So again, I think for what it is, in the daytime it looks its best. In the nighttime, not so much. But I might install this on the InMotion RS, or I may not. I don't know yet. I know that some people think that this is kind of a stupid idea, but the truth is that it's still something that can protect you. And again, this can literally stay on for 5 hours without overheating and continue recording. And you don't get that with the GoPro Hero 10 or the Insta360 Ace Pro that I just pre-ordered. So yeah, I think for what it is, it's a good product. And I did talk to Wolfbox about maybe coming up with a better solution for e-scooter riders that's similar to this, that has image save, and they said they'll bring it up to their development team to see if they can come up with that. And that would be cool, man. So here's what that looks like now. So overall, man, I think it's great. But let's go ahead and go back to the house, and I'll go over to the basement, and then I'll show you guys how all of this works, and we can keep going. So let's cut the clip here. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we're back in the basement. Now it's Sunday, December 3rd. So it took me quite a while to edit all that information for you guys on the video to like merge the timing of the Wolfbox G930's SD card, and also the rear dash cam, which I also have here for the InMotion RS, and try to get the footage as synced as possible for you guys to see. And You guys tell me what you guys think in the comments. I know that it's kind of a stupid idea, man, to put a dash cam like this in an electric scooter in general. And this isn't just for the G2. The G2 was just my beta testing scooter because that's all I have to use right now. So I'm still waiting for my InMotion RS. We are in December. I was supposed to get it December 5th, but Voro Motors called me telling me not till December 30th. And now just recently they did a video a couple days ago while I was doing this video here about how they're going to try to get the InMotion RS to their customers before Christmas. So let's see what happens. But I'm not, gonna put my hopes up to get it before that date. If it comes, great, and if it doesn't, well, then I'm gonna have to wait till I get it. But in general, man, what do I think about this Project Dashcam thing that I decided to do? Number one, I think it's convenient but inconvenient. Convenient because I like the fact that this Wolfbox G930 actually has a built-in display, and the display stays on at all times. So this works like a mirror in a way, so you can see what's behind you. And if all you need is rear eyes because the mirrors that you have on your scooter don't work as good, this might be convenient, but it's not an easy thing to install, especially having to travel a rear camera for this when it comes to the cable into your scooter, depending the model, because on the RS it's going to be super ridiculously easy to install this dash cam. Nothing's going to have to get drilled into, and I really like that idea of that, because anything that has to do with the InMotion RS, when it comes to the battery area, there's this channels on the edges where you can run cables right through it from the back of the scooter all the way to the front, up the neck, and then up to the handlebar area. So I'm not going to struggle whatsoever to get that installed in there. But for image stable on this Wolfbox G930, you guys got to see for yourself. The video was very shaky, but I was able to pause the video and do a screenshot of literally multiple cars. But I think that the video would have been way longer if I would have done that. So I took the best footage I can find on a random car, and I went ahead and I grabbed it. I did the screenshot. I zoomed in through the software that I have, which I use Wondershare for more 11. But Wolfbox does provide you with free software for their dash cams, so you can use that as well, and it has literal GPS Google Maps information if you really need that. The most information I really need is just the date, the time, and the speed that I'm going. That's the most important thing for me on any dash cam, and I could care less about the brand. It can be called Hello Kitty for all I care, but as long as I get that information and it works, that's all that matters for me to show the police. So other alternatives to this, man, would honestly be a GoPro. This GoPro Hero 10 that I have right here mounted on the helmet, it was about 260 bucks. And this one obviously was way more because I bought it since day one. So I've had this one for many years. The original battery already expired and it expanded, and I was able to replace it, and that was really convenient. You can't do that with this Wolfbox G930 that has a built-in memory battery. So these batteries for the GoPro are very easily replaceable, and unfortunately you can't do that with the Insta360 Go 3 either. So if you want to use something for the back of the camera instead of using something like this, then that might be a deal breaker for you. However, I'm debating on whether I'm going to keep this GoPro on this helmet, because when I was editing my videos, man, every time I moved my head a certain way, it was making me feel freaking dizzy when I was doing the editing. So I might go back to the GoPro Manzir that I used to use for the other videos and just attach the new Insta360 Ace Pro that I purchased, that I'm waiting to eventually receive, and all the accessories I bought for it off of Insta360, and use that instead. So I'm going to be testing the waters with that. So this is going to be basically used as a first person view from the front of the handlebar, and I'm using this adapter thing here that you can see. And the cool part about it is that it has a little trigger in the bottom here that you can press down like this, and you can twist the GoPro's direction. So you can have it facing the front of the scooter or the back of the scooter where you're at, so it can look at you as a kind of like when you use those GoPro Max thing where you have the camera, which is one of the reasons why I bought the lens mod. Only bad thing about the lens mod on this is that it has more of a fisheye view, and it's not supposed to, but it is set to 2.7K at 60 frames. You can't lower it down to 30 either. It just maxes out certain settings, and the only thing you can change is literally the ISO and exposure value, and obviously the bitrate. That's pretty much all you can do with this thing, and the color balance. But other than that, this is decent for what it is, and this is a good alternative. But there's another one that I found that I wanted to talk to you guys, and I'm going to share that screenshot for you guys right now. Now, I found this bicycle camera, and it's by cyclic.com, and I'm putting the image right here right now for you guys, so you guys can read this as I am reading this. This one's called a Fly 12 Sport, and it's a front-facing camera with the built-in LED light. The LED light can be on or off at will. Obviously, if you turn off the LED light, you get more camera life, which is really cool. Convenient part about that, it does have image stability because it's for a bicycle, and bicycles move like this, just like scooters. So what do we struggle with as scooter riders? Having a good camera to be able to record stuff that has image stave. And I'm thinking that this scooter or bicycle camera might be a good deal for anybody that's trying to find something more discreet, because there are some people in the forum that I shared this with, and they did mention that this can be stolen, and they're right. It can be stolen, or somebody can purposely damage it, and when you have it parked somewhere in the street and damage the scooter or the dash cam, and there goes the dash cam. However, with this Fly 12 Sport and even the Fly 6 rear camera, they're removable. They twist on and remove, twist, lock in place, and you're good to go. And they're very discreet. They do run on an app, so you do have to install the Cyclic app on your smartphone, whether you're using Apple or Android. And like the GoPro, control your settings from there. Just make sure where you want to have everything, set up your resolution, your image stave on and stuff, and you're ready to go. And convenient thing about this is that you can actually upgrade the micro SD card up to 256 gigs per camera for the front or the rear, and that's for the Fly 12 Sport and the Fly 6. And on the front camera, you get up to 4K 24. I would prefer to do 1080p at 60 frames per second, because the smoother the frame rate and the more frames you get, the better stability you're going to have when it comes to recording dash cam information for any license plates of a person that might try to hit you. And that's the most important thing, is safety for this company. I'm not sure 100% how good they are, but I'm considering ordering these cameras from them so that I can use that on the InMotion RS instead of this, because once I start attending the gym to lose, more weight and gain some muscle and crap for myself health wise, it's going to be parked in front of the Alley Fitness place, but it's going to be like away from me, and I'm not going to be able to see it so easily when I go into the building. So I need to make sure that if I'm going to have that, I probably shouldn't have something like this on it unless I'm going to like have it indoors and I know for a fact that I'm not going to get anything stolen. But if so, for all the people who were concerned about getting the camera stolen, the Fly 12 Sport and the Fly 6 can easily be twisted off and removed, so you can take it with you and turn it off. And it turns on with the push of a button, which is really convenient. And I think it's a great choice. And again, I'm going to put down the specs of the camera here, where it literally tells you, for example, what you get. First, I'll show you guys that. And the price is a little steep. It's $319 for the Fly 12 Sport, and it's on sale right now for $220. But I don't want to spend more money because I already bought the Insta360 Ace Pro, and then I also just recently got the Osmo Pocket 3, which you're looking at me from. I actually have the gimbal off so it stays put in one place. But this is your accessories that you get, so I'll put them here on the screen. You basically get the camera itself, you get a USB-C charger, like a little handle mount. You get the handlebar mount that stays permanently on your bike with the twist on and twist off capability, micro SD card of 64 gigabytes, and then you also get a GoPro style mount too that you can add to something like this, which I think is really convenient. And the specs on it on this next screenshot is up to 7 hours of record time, and again the size of the battery is 3000 milliamp hours, which is 3 amp hours. and that is almost double what the GoPro Hero 10 can do, and it looks really good so far. So other than that, it does 5 volts at 2 amps, and it does have Bluetooth 5.1 if you want to use that. The light, if you want to use the light, has 400 lumens. You can do flash or off, and I prefer to have it off to conserve more battery for the actual camera recording than anything else. And here are the specs for that Fly 12 Sport. You're getting 24 frames at 4K. You're getting 30 frames per second at 1440p. And I think if I was to get this camera, I would go with 1080p at 60 frames per second, because like I mentioned earlier, the smoother the frame rate, the more frames you get per second, the better video footage you're going to get, especially when it comes to recording license plates of people who might want to try to do something to you. Like there are just a lot of weird people out there. So now let's talk about the Fly 6. The Fly 6 looks very similar to the Insta360 Go 3, but it's a lot better. And the reason why is because, like you can see here, it has a built-in light. You don't have to have that light on. Like for example, on my camera or my helmet, I have the break-free LED light, and I'm cool with that. I do not need any extra lights. That thing is super bright. People can actually see me, and they steer away from me now, which is great. That's a big help, and definitely worth the money that I paid for during the Black Friday sales. But here's another image so you guys can see how that works. You can see that, again, it's one of those clip-on twist thingies where you can take it off and clip it on and twist it back on. Very easy to use. Here's an image of it again with all of the accessories you get. So you get 2 straps, a long strap, a short strap. You get a bunch of angle mounts for different positionings, and then you get the main mount at the very top that's going to lock the camera into place, and a USB-C cable. And again, you get 5 hours of runtime versus the Insta360 Go 3 that only gives you 45 minutes, and that's at I think 2.7K. On this one, it has 2000 milliamp hours, which is 2 amp hours. On the Insta360 Go 3, just the little camera itself without the body frame, you only get 310 milliamp hours, which is not, it's like basically very short, and why you get 45 minutes of record time at max. So this Fly 6 basically gives you about 6.5 times more battery life without having to use a full frame, you know, body on the camera like the Insta360 Go 3. So I think this is pretty cool. And here are the specs to that Fly 6 camera. You get Full HD, which is 1080p at 30 frames per second, or 720p at 60 frames per second. And again, like the front camera, you get a 135-degree angle. I think it looks good. You get loop recording, which is awesome, so you don't have to worry about anything like not re-recording for you, like overlapping other video footage. And I think it works great for what it is. So these are the specs of the Insta360 Go 3, just in case you're interested. I'll put it right there, and you can go ahead and pause it right now so you can go ahead and read the information. But I don't think it's that great of a deal, considering that it costs more than the Fly 6 and you get way less record time. So and also on top of that, you're stuck with either 32 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes, or 128, because the memory is internally built in. And on the Fly 6, you can use a external SD card up to 256 gigs. So the choice is kind of yours on what you would like to go for, but I might give these guys a shot considering that they're made for that. So again, here's the proof that the Insta360 Go 3 can only do 310 milliamp hours, which is hardly nothing. That explains why it does 45 minutes record time. So other than that, that is all the information I have for you guys, man. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. And again, if you're still with me, man, almost 50 minutes in, thank you so much for sticking around and for just following along on my crazy idea of a Project Dashcam on an electric scooter. So I think I'm going to try to get the cyclic cameras and see how those work out, and hopefully they work out better. I do like the discreet look. Having that dash cam, like I told you guys earlier in the video, on the Segway 9bot Max G2, like literally was shaking everywhere. The mount was moving, and I had to keep my thumb like on the frame of the body just to make sure that the bracket wouldn't move back and forth. And it was just like a little bit hard to deal with, especially if you want to just focus on just writing and not have to worry about anything falling apart. So again, this is it for the video. If you guys liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're interested in watching more crazy stuff later on, consider subscribing to the channel. I'd rather earn your subscription than beg you to subscribe to the channel. If you found the video useful and you want to see more of this kind of content, consider subscribing. But other than that, this is it. My name is Louis and I am the Average Guy 1983. Thank you very much for watching my crazy Project Dashcam video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it entertaining and useful. Have a good one. Peace.